We're ready to go? Okay, thank you. We're going to call the meeting to order. Thank you. Welcome to our council meeting of May 13th. We always begin our meeting with our land acknowledgement. The municipality of Tweed recognizes that our work takes place on traditional Indigenous territories, including the Huron-Wendat, Anishinaabe, and the Haudenosaunee peoples. We recognize and respect the history, languages, and culture of the First Nations, Métis, Inuit, and all Indigenous peoples whose presence continues to enrich our communities. Miigwech, please join us now for O Canada. Councillor Fluhler will be slightly detained. He will be joining us shortly. Could I have a mover and a seconder for the approval of our regular agenda meeting for today? Thank you, Councillor Valiquette. Thank you, Deputy Mayor Demarche. Be it resolved that the agenda for the May 13th, 2025 regular council meeting being approved as presented. All in favor? Thank you. Are there any disclosures of pecuniary interest? Yes.
Mayor, I'd like to disclose 2025 or 10.3 and 10.4, 2025 42 and 2025 43.
Okay, thank you. Any others disclosures? Seeing none, could I have a mover and a seconder for the adoption of the regular council minutes from April 22nd, 2025? Thank you, Councillor Valiquette. Thank you, Councillor Palmetier. Any questions on said minutes? Seeing none, be it resolved that the minutes of the April 22nd, 2025 regular council meeting be adopted as presented. All in favor? Thank you. There will be a closed meeting today. Council will hold a closed meeting during the regular council meeting pursuant to section 2392 of the Municipal Act 2001 SO 2001 C25 as amended to consider the following matters. K, a position, plan, or procedure, criteria, or instruction to be applied to any negotiations carried on or to be carried on by or on behalf of the municipality or local board. 2001 C25 S2392 2017 C10 Schedule 1 S26. My mayor's remarks, relatively short today. We would like to begin council meeting by extending a heartfelt congratulations to Shelby Cramp Newman on her successful re-election as our federal MP. MP Cramp Newman has always worked closely with this council and was instrumental in opening doors in our pursuit of financial assistance for the victims of the 22 tornado. We also extend our congratulations to Tweed and Company Theatre on being named a recent recipient of Experience Ontario funding, as announced by MPP Rick Bressie. On April 23rd, interim CAO Pender, CAO Diskey, and I met with Mayor DeLine and staff to explore joint service opportunities. The following day, I attended the Hastings County Council meeting and later that afternoon met with interim CAO Pender to tie up loose ends before his departure. I then attended the Central Hastings Support Network meeting, followed by the Belleville General Hospital Foundation board meeting in Belleville. On April 25th, Lucas Wales and I met with a local residents to discuss a potentially significant investment in our agricultural community. On April 26th, I joined fellow Kiwanians and community members at Tweed Memorial Park for the annual Kiwanis Trash Wrap. Councillor Fleeler was also in attendance. I'm not sure if anybody else came afterwards, but Jim was there when I was there. Thank you to the Kiwanis Club for your continued dedication to our community. On April 29th, I attended a virtual session on the provincial government's Municipal Housing Infrastructure Program, Health and Safety Water Stream. Also in attendance were Public Works Manager Reed, Clerk Krellin, and CAO Diskey. We will be meeting later this week to work on the funding application in partnership with Aqua. On April 30th, I joined a Globe and Mail Zoom session titled Strategies for the Unexpected, which focused on navigating through turbulent times. On May 5th, I welcomed our new CAO, Ron Diskey, and we reviewed the municipal agenda for the coming quarters. On May 7th, I participated in a meeting with Quinte Health to review the Belleville General Hospital Foundation's 2025 funding commitment. Later that morning, excuse me, I met with a resident to discuss an educational investment opportunity. That afternoon, Belleville General Hospital Foundation executive met to discuss board and recruitment strategies. Later that day, I met with Cindy Chow, Jeanette Honey, and Michelle Langevin to begin planning this year's Christmas outdoor market. We are adopting a fun and festive theme, transforming the municipality of Tweed into Whoville for the Christmas season. Depending on its success, we may make this an annual tradition, expanding the experience each year and turning Tweed into a must-see holiday destination. So put on your Whoville thinking caps and join us with your great ideas. And speaking of caps, how fun it would be to see residents and visitors alike donning Whoville hats and bling along the Christmas parade route. I also worked with Gateway Community Health Center's Executive Director, Mayo Hako, on a letter requesting provincial support for expanding access to primary health care for our region. Finally, we are thrilled to be hosting Tweed Comic Con on May 18th from 10 till 3 at the Tweed Community Center. Organized by Pulp Culture Canada, this, as they quote, one-day geek culture extravaganza is designed to bring the excitement of a comic convention right to our community. In attendance will be legendary comic book artist Dan Day, who does the graphics for Captain America, Detective Comics, and Doctor Strange, and he will also be bringing never before seen original artwork by his late brother Gene Day. He did artwork for Amazing Spider-Man, Black Panther, Conan, and Star Wars. I plan on being there, and I hope to see many of you as well. And that's a wrap. Thank you. Okay, we're going to be moving into public planning meetings, and the first one is, could I have a second table, public planning meeting and zoning amendment ZA8/25. The applicant, Robert and Donna Diltz, location 1876 Moneymore Road, concession 1, part of lot 17. Purpose. The purpose and effect of the proposed zoning bylaw amendment is to change the zoning of a 3.8 acre severed lot from the rural RU zone to the rural residential RR zone. The rezoning of the severed lot to RR is a condition of severance file B31/24 and will provide for the appropriate zoning for the size and proposed use of the new parcels. I'll move it a seconder, please. Thank you, Councillor Valiquette. Thank you, Councillor Palmetier. Is there anyone from in the audience who would like to speak against the actual application? Seeing none, you said there's nobody out there. Okay, and is the proponent, did they want to say anything, or are they good to go if they're here? Okay, good enough. Any questions from council on this particular application? Seeing none. Be it resolved that council authorize staff to bring forward an amending bylaw at the next regular council meeting. All in favor? Excuse me. Thank you. Could I have a mover and a seconder to table public planning meeting for zoning amendment ZA9/25? Thank you, Deputy Mayor Marsh, and thank you, Councillor Palmetier. This application is in regards to applicant 97677 Ontario Inc., agent Echo View Consulting Service, Kent Rendell. Location 55 French Settlement Road, concession 11 part, lot 10. Purpose. The purpose and effect of the proposed zoning bylaw amendment is to change the zoning of a 58 acre severed lot from the Special Urban Reserve RU-1 zone to the Urban Reserve UR zone. In addition, an approximate 2 acre Part 1 on Plan 21R 202647 is to change the zoning from residential first density R1 zoning to the urban reserve UR zone. The zoning of the severed and portion of the benefiting lands to UR is a condition of severance files B96 and 97/24 and will provide for the appropriate zoning for the size and proposed use of the new parcels. Is there anyone in the audience that would like to speak against this application? Seeing none, does the proponent want to speak to this?
Good morning, Mr. Mayor. My name is Chris Conti. I'm from Eagle View Consulting. I'm online. Can you hear me?
Okay, thank you.
I would just like to confirm that we support the rezoning of the parcel, and we appreciate council's and staff's recommendation to council.
Okay, thank you very much. Is there anybody else that would like to say anything? Seeing none, any questions from council? Seeing none, be it resolved that council authorize staff to bring forward an amending bylaw at the next regular council meeting. All in favor? Thank you. Moving on to our third public planning meeting. Public planning meeting, could I have a move and a second to get the public planning meeting for zoning amendment ZA 10/25, applicant Summer Baker, location 1820 Moneymore Road, concession 1, part lot 16-17. Purpose. The purpose and effect of the proposed zoning bylaw amendment is to change the zoning of a 3-acre severed lot from the rural RU zone to the rural residential RR zone. The rezoning of the severed lands is a condition of severance file B6/25 and will provide for the appropriate zoning for the size and proposed use of the new parcel. Could I move in a second to get that on the table, please? Thank you, Councillor Valiquette. Thank you, Councillor Palmetier. Is there anyone in the audience that would like to speak against the application? Seeing none. Anybody online? Okay. Does anybody want to speak to the application? Seeing none. Okay. Is there any questions from council on this application? Seeing none. Okay. Be it resolved that council authorize staff to bring forward amending bylaw at the next regular council meeting. All in favor? Thank you. Okay. Moving on to delegations. I would like to invite Cube Cafe, Nico and Peter up to the podium, if you would. You're just going to sit there? Okay. Anyway, here's your mic on there.
Test.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Welcome, Peter. Just so people might not know who Peter is, but I'm sure they do. Peter is the brother to Aniko, who is the owner of the Cube Cafe, a lovely cafe on the corner here. And Peter is primarily involved in a lot of the marketing and website development and stuff as a business, and supports his sister in that regard. And so they've got a couple of ideas, so I'm going to ask you to present them to us, if you would.
Thank you, Mayor. Good morning, everybody. Mayor and members of council, thank you for the opportunity to speak to you today. Very briefly, we're looking for permission to place a smoker on the 301 in front of our coffee shop, 301 Victoria, for the May 24 weekend. That's comprising of the Saturday, Sunday, and Monday, the 17th, 18th, and 19th. The smoker, if you can take a look, I've done some quick shots of north, south, and then various angles to give you an idea of where we'd like to place the unit. If you can jump to the next slide, it'll give you a little more of an overview. Yeah, so essentially, there's approximately 23 feet between the two buildings. The smoker is approximately 12 feet by 6 feet. Ideally, it will not obstruct the driveway. We do have permission from our neighbor, Juanita, in this case, to obstruct the driveway. Sean Porter, the fire prevention officer, has been by and given us the okay, having spoken to the fire chief. As well, the bylaw officer gave us indication that there'd be no issue placing the smoker there. It will be tucked in nicely away from any obstructing traffic. We'll be having a staff member there during the entire course of the 3-day event. We'll be selling pulled pork sandwiches Saturday, Sunday, Monday, rather, and then culminating in a Sunday dinner, approximately 18 to 36 people for dinner. The purpose of the street visibility is that we feel that it'll be a little bit of a highlight to get folks to slow down, stop their car, get out and shop in the community. We're anticipating good weather for Sunday and Monday. We don't normally stay open on Mondays. We're trying a bit of an experiment. Frankly, I would love this to turn into not only an event for this year, but a May 24 event that carries through every single year. So we have a tradition developing where people start to recognize Tweed as a bit of a food destination, which is what we're trying to do by developing our menu and our programs at the coffee shop. That's essentially it. You can jump through. I can show you some pictures of the smoker. So it is a wood-fired smoker. We'll have necessary fire extinguishers on hand should there be any issue, but it's not a significant amount of fire. It's more of a smoking apparatus. Our chef, Mihao, who's been with us, he's out of Thomasburg, will be manning the stations and providing culinary support. As I mentioned, community benefits. We really want to get folks to stop their car, and by putting something at street level, we'll feel that this type of activation will drive that initiative. As I mentioned, the hours are tentatively from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. And we really hope we have some great weather so we can get folks to get out of their cars. We want to create this vibrant community of food forward sort of environment. And then finally, the last slide. So I get back to my ask is straightforward, is to allow seek your permission to put the smoker on street level for the 3 days that I mentioned.
Okay, before you move on,
Yes,
are
sir.
there any questions from council? Yes, please,
Yes, sir.
Peter.
So
support it. I've used that particular smoker before.
It's
and
Troy.
the product,
You
yeah,
recognize it. It was
yeah.
made by our dear metalworker, Troy. He's had
Absolutely.
various events. So.
My only question would be on the street side, the back side, would you be putting something down there just to kind of?
We'll put some
Actually,
cones down. I would maybe ask the city if they have some they could donate, maybe 2 or 3. We could and we could flag it to tape off as necessary. As I mentioned, it won't be an unmanned. We're really going to try to tuck it into that area so it is as far away from the street as possible without obstructing any
And
traffic
folk will
flow.
obviously still be able to continue to use the sidewalk.
Absolutely, that's the main consideration. There'll be zero impediment to either traffic flow or pedestrian traffic.
Perfect, thank you.
So.
Any other questions? Could I get a mover and a seconder to table the first part of your application? Thank you, Council. Thank you, Councilor Valiquette. Thank you, Councilor Palmentier. Any questions? All in favor? Excellent. Okay, let's move on to phase 2. Are you going to do the street closure?
So I just want to mention the street closure
Okay,
because
you're
we're
not
still
sure yet.
yeah,
Okay.
I didn't put it on the slide. We have a tentative date of August 16th, Nico, is that correct? So this will be another presentation where we lined up more of the details. August 16th, we're looking to close Spring Street, which is essentially I guess that would be east of 37, right down to the post office, which is I don't even know the name of that street. I've been here 3 years now and I don't know the street names. Sir. Colburn. We are looking to engage Natalie Mintz from Thomasburg Store. She does very successful monthly events. We'll be pulling some of her contacts to create a very unique event. There'll be music. It'll be very family-centric. We want to make sure there's a lot of activities for younger families. That's one of the things that has been driven to me again and again, speaking to local folks. More stuff for the kids. Happy kids makes happy families, and we try to encourage folks to stay in this area. Again, the shape and format of that, live music, there would obviously be a licensed component. We will bring as many vendors as we can. We're starting to line up our sponsorship for the event, and as more details come forward, we'll do a proper presentation in front of council a little bit in the next month. I think at the next council meeting, we'll have some more details for you.
Sounds good. Okay,
Wonderful.
thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you for your time. Cheers.
Thank you. Okay, moving on. Excuse me. Could I have a mover and a seconder to table the infrastructure tour and rotating deputy mayor public meeting reports updates from the CAO? Could I have a mover and a second? Thank you, Councilor Valiquette. Thank you, Councilor Palmentier. Okay, I'm going to turn it over to you, Ron. Excuse me.
Good morning, and through the chair, just a few updates before we get into the reports. The mayor has asked in a previous meeting about SurveyMonkey, and if we can contact them. I'm having a lot of trouble contacting them. They don't have a telephone number. I've left them emails with my email and my number to respond to me. The mayor's question was, can we ensure that only one email is allowed, or one response, or one response to the survey is possible per email. So we're trying to see if we can regulate in that way. So I will unfortunately have no update. We'll continue to try to get in touch with them. With respect to the 2 reports, or the report, we are looking for a date to go on a tour of the township and look at our infrastructure. That will include facilities, roads, bridges, culverts. So that's important to assist us with our asset management plan. So we need to pick a date, and a number of dates have been presented to you. And also there was a motion put by Councillor Valiquette to have a public meeting regarding a rotating deputy mayor position. So those are the two decisions you need to make today.
It is work on the, which is.
Your worship, can we try to avoid doing the same day as the council meeting? Cut them down.
Okay, if everybody's okay with the remaining dates,
Not good on the third.
you're not good on the third, okay? Okay, so what about June 2nd then? Thank you. Oh, no, you have to stay for the whole meeting.
What time of day are we thinking?
It's a full date and we're getting a bus.
No. The way my life's been the last month, nothing goes good on a Monday. It's like, that's all, but that's why I was wondering what time, you can tie up those loose ends, but if that works with everyone else. There is 4 other members of council and staff,
Yeah,
so.
right, that's right. I'm turning it off. Sorry. So June 5th now, like, I know you have all that milking and stuff you gotta do. You want to start at 10?
Better.
Okay.
We'll make it work.
Okay, so I'll leave it, we'll do June 5th, will be the date. And CAO Diski will send out a confirmation of time and process. Okay.
Can we get Lori just added to our calendar?
Yeah. And, okay, the second one, that was the motion that was tabled by Councillor Valiquette in regards to the deputy mayor position. Now, and I'm not sure, in talking with interim CIO Pender, we thought about putting it at the beginning of a council meeting. And so what if we did it at the beginning of our next meeting and make sure there's a notice in the newspaper that we have announcing it, and then we'll have it in these council chambers before that, before our council meeting, which would be an evening meeting, I guess, which means more people could attend. Pardon me?
I'm sorry, I'm just following along, like June 24th,
No,
that's our next evening.
May 27th.
Oh,
I'm the one with the mic issue. So you're talking doing it before the tour?
Are we okay with that? Which means then you would have to put a notice into the newspaper, give everybody notice about that. Okay, so that will be the date that we review that particular motion. Okay, so was there anything?
Go ahead, Jim.
Well, I just wonder, your worship, if we're gonna get enough participation at a night meeting, I don't know.
Well, I think you get more at night than you would in a day.
Why, I thought the intent was to have a actual town hall. No?
Is there any objection, I guess, let's put it that way, is there any objection to doing it before the council meeting? Nothing over there,
We-
nothing there.
Yeah, we could do that.
Okay,
It's,
let's do it.
yeah.
Okay. Yes,
The other question I had, Mayor, was, is for people that say can't make it for 5 o'clock, do they have an opportunity to write in their support or opposition? Because 5 o'clock, people are just getting off work. That's what the question I had.
we could do it after the council meeting.
Whatever, I mean, it just, that was a question that was asked to me by a couple, whether they could write in. Or to their supporter of.
So Lori, you're saying okay? You're saying yes to Lori, which of the
I think that when we advertise it in the paper, we could mention that if anyone isn't able to attend the meeting, then they're welcome to send an email to one of our email addresses, and then we would have that to present at the meeting time as well.
Okay.
And I just wanted to know if it would be a half hour before the meeting or 1 hour. How long did you want to have the open public session?
Maybe we should start at 5. Let's start at 5, and then we can, if we're done earlier, we'll just break. Okay? Okay, good. CEO Diskey, is there anything else that you wanted to report?
Sure.
Okay, thank you very much. All in favor of the updates provided by the CEO? Thank you, Councilor Palmetier. Well, I think we already did table it, didn't we? So all in favor, thank you. I just gotta go back here. Public Works Manager, could I have a mover? Oh, does Ryan need to be here or no? Okay. Could I have a mover and a seconder to table the service agreement for 3 Louisa Street, Tweed? Move and a seconder, please. Thank you, Deputy Mayor DeMarche. Thank you, Councillor Valpaquette. It's just strange that we have this situation, but to me, it's been a long-standing agreement that's never really been finalized, and this is the purpose of this particular applicant right here. Yes, Councillor Fleeler, please.
Your worship, I've been on council quite a few years and I've never heard of this. I don't know, and I don't know what our obligations are really, but I guess if we have to do this, we.
Strange, yeah. Yes, Deputy Mayor DeMarche.
So I have heard a few years ago, Alan had brought it to us, that they had a pump failure and had to replace. He was aware of an agreement years ago, and it's the only one we have in the village that has that pump because it's the lowest point. So that's the only reason I knew anything about it, because I questioned it on our expenses at that time. Why were we paying for it? But it was an agreement from way back when they put the sewers in that. Yeah. I just remember the former Public Works talking about it at that time, because I questioned it then.
Yeah, I might have remembered that too, but yeah, so.
It's an anomaly.
Oh,
sure.
So what are we obligated to do then? We need to, this is a holding tank that needs to be pumped occasionally, or?
Through the chair, my understanding is that yes, there's a holding tank, but there's the pump that needs to be replaced. It's been mentioned, this is a one and the only one of these types of agreements in the township. I believe the cost is going to be $78.
Well, thank you. Yes, Councillor Palmetier. I'm sorry, Councillor Valpaquette. Sorry.
Jacob, I'm sorry. So the only, and I don't disagree with the agreement, but is it limited specifically to the pump and the holding tank? Is there a opportunity at some point for the resident to come back and say, I want you to pay for the electricity for the pump to offset the cost of operating it? Or is it just limited to those 2 specific things?
I think I can answer that.
Okay, go ahead.
I think it was, Councilor Bellick, I think it was just specific to the pump and the unit itself, not the operations.
And I mean, the language in the agreement says that.
Any other questions? Be it resolved that council enter into a written agreement with the owner of 3 Louisa Street, and further that council directs staff to bring forward a bylaw to implement the said agreement, all in flavor. It's a new tongue, okay? It's a new tongue. Maybe a new brain is needed. Could I have a mover and a seconder to table the Community Development, Parks and Recreation Department update, please? Thank you, Councillor Valpaquette. Thank you, Councillor Palmetier. Over to Cindy. Anything in particular? A detailed report.
Yes, I attended a Hamlet meeting on May the 5th, and we had community representative express significant concerns with regards to speeding in their respective hamlets. And they were hoping that that council would perhaps consider speed enforcement in their area, or some sort of be supportive of any sort of speed reducing measures as well, which could include speed humps, visual cues such as signage or pavement markings of that nature. But they do fully support speed enforcement cameras.
Could I recommend that you direct that particular request to the manager or the Public Works manager?
Okay.
Have them investigate and get back to us.
Okay.
Yes, Councilor Freeland.
Your worship, it's been identified for quite a long period of time that we've got an issue. I would like to, in fact, I think I'm gonna bring a notice of motion to the next council meeting to go ahead to buy these speed enforcement cameras. I don't, if you read some of the literature that we've received and some of the stuff that's out there, you could put a sign wherever you like. People don't care. You could put a speed bump. Some of them will pay attention, some won't. I think we need to move forward and put the cameras in place. And if people don't want to follow the rules, they're gonna pay.
Are these the cameras similar to what's currently installed in Belleville, that kind of thing?
Yep.
Okay, then maybe we could direct the manager of Public Works to look at the cost of those cameras as well.
Okay.
Yes,
Just following up on that, Mayor, Councilor Bleeler and I did talk at Good Roads to, I think it's the city of Brampton that will do all the
Yep.
administering and
Yep.
provide the cameras at a really reasonable cost. So I can pass that along to Public Works as well.
okay, good. Councilor Valiquette.
Wonderful idea. I don't disagree. I think we need to know, so who administers this whole thing? Because if I'm not mistaken, the county looks after all POA offenses and it's
And they do all the bells and all of the camera stuff.
right.
Yes.
So you would need to engage them at some level to see if they can take that on as additional.
Well, I don't think that will be an issue, but I mean, let's get the cost before we even decide. And then yes, as the next point of action after that, if it is something that we think we would like to do, then we have to see if we can fit in with the public offenses as managed by Hastings County. Any other question? Yes.
Just following up on Councilor Valiquette, if we engage the city of Brampton, they do all the administration. So everything's done from their end, we don't do nothing, we get a portion of those.
We just have to make sure that it falls within the confines of what Hastings County is
Right.
established for. We don't want to be breaching any agreement or anything in that regard. Yes.
But to build on the deputy's comment, you may be able to go to the city of Belleville and see if you could get part of their rotation and rent it from them at some level.
Oh God, they'll never rent them.
I'm just saying.
Yeah, this is a money-making opportunity.
I realize that, but if Brampton's looking at doing that for other communities, then maybe there is some sort of revenue stream that Belleville would find attractive, and it may not cost us quite as much, but we could still be able to do it. Just a thought.
Yes,
So-
before I bring this to a close.
Okay, your worship, and I would, if we could purchase 2 of these cameras, and I would, from the information I've heard, I would go with Brampton myself as well, but we'd have to check that out. and make
Yeah,
sure.
that's, I mean,
But,
we already discussed that, right?
2,
Go ahead.
okay, thank you.
Thank you. Okay, so we're going to instruct the manager of Public Works. For me? Oh, you've got it down. Okay, I was just going to reaffirm that. But first, is there anything else, Cindy, that you wanted to bring to our attention?
Nope, that's it. Thank you.
Okay. Be it resolved that council receive the Community Development Parks and Recreation Department update as presented. And further, that the issue presented regarding speeding in the hamlets be directed to the manager of Public Works for investigation and to review the cost of obtaining community safety zoned cameras. Okay, thank you. All in favor? Thank you. Could I have a mover and a seconder for the request to enter a funding agreement with CFDC, please? Community Futures Development Corporation, that is. Thank you, Deputy Mayor DeMarche. Thank you, Councillor Fleeler. Any questions on said funding request? Seeing none, be it resolved that council receive the request to enter into funding agreement with Community Futures Development Corporation report as presented. And further, that council approve the request for the municipality of Tweed to enter into an agreement with Community Futures Development Corporation. All in favor? Thank you. Could I have a mover and a seconder to table the fire department update as of May 13th, 2025, please? Thank you, Councillor Fleeler. Thank you, Councillor Valiquette. Over to you, Derek.
Morning through the chair. We have had busy weekend in the department there. We had quite a structure fire on the weekend at on the lake. Guys and girls did a fantastic job on it there, and they did a bang up job on doing what they did there. It was very nice water source being there on the lake and stuff, and unfortunately there was a lot of damage to the property, and people be out of a place to stay for quite some time. So we've had one other thing I just wanted to bring up there is our CWPP. We finished our community risk wildfire protection plan. One of the few that in our area that have did it. There's more, a lot of the northern municipalities and stuff have did that. We're one of the first down in the southern part of the area that has completed it. We worked hard, Sean, us, and through several helpers from the Ministry of Natural Resources has been a great support on it to get that, help us through that. Hastings County GIS has been absolutely wonderful to help us get over mapping and stuff for this area. So now we have a mapping wildfire protection program for our area. It's did all through the tornado zone was part of it, but also through our whole area down through right from one end of our township to the other. So it's kind of nice to have that in place, and they're very happy to have that through the M&R. And we're receiving a grant through for finishing this year. I think be in the next few days we'll be receiving a grant to purchase a piece of equipment or whatever, or some equipment to help us with wildfire stuff, equipment. One thing we're looking at is probably drying equipment for our coveralls and stuff. We have a issue getting that done. And one thing we got kind of cut back on our other grant from the cancer prevention. So we may be looking at bringing that to council, that we'd be purchasing another dryer for the fire department to help get our equipment dry and stuff after that, because it does get pretty messy, and that's one thing you need quick recovery on getting stuff dried up after that. So through that, we've been working with a lot of the municipalities, businesses and stuff, answering questions for new business like stuff we had with a recent presentation there. And it's nice to see some stuff happening in town on that. And Sean's been working with all of them on their fire code compliance and that. We've also applied for another grant through the Canadian Legion, Royal Canadian Legion, which we've been very supportive of the department to through the years to buy some medical equipment, and hopefully we get some more stuff through the new grant coming forward. So besides that, that's all I have on that. I have another.
Do you have an update?
I have an update for you on the new truck. I was at the fire chiefs convention last week, speaking with Alex quite a bit about different things, what's working on the truck. We've got a final quote from them for the new truck, and that's through Pierce, through Canoe Group. Pierce is the number one supplier for Canoe Group. They've had the number one rating for everything in out of I think there's 25 or 30 suppliers that they have the use of there, and they were the number one group for pricing and everything. They've sent us our quote. The quote come back at for here. Just bear with here. Get to the sheets. Should have had that. So the list on the truck come back. It was $1.1340427 million. The Canoe Procurement Group discount was $59,120.71. So the total cost of the department would be $1,074,922,000. And we would be required to have a 10% down payment at signing on it. And then the next would be about 14 months out approximately for the once the cabin chassis is purchased, which would be about another $250,000 to come up with in about, I think approximately said about 14 months in. So, which gives us about 10 months before delivery. They're looking at delivery would be around November of 2027 for the truck. There's one other things that we have to look on that. There is being with all the tariffs and all that thing there. I did get a thing back on the tariffs. There is no on the truck coming back across to us as of yet. But the one thing we need to look at is the 2027 EPA standards for emissions. There may be a little bit of change in that in the trucks. We're not sure yet. They don't know what it's going to come. So there may be a small increase to that, which we can't predict what's going to happen there yet, because they don't know what's going to happen. It may get depleted with what's going on down there too. So it's we're not sure about that. And then in the contract, Also, there's they're recommending a performance bond on the purchasing it, which would supplies us basically, it gives us warranty if when the vehicle comes that we make sure that everything is fixed to our satisfaction within 1 year. It also does if there's tariffs or whatever on it there and or the price increases on this thing, like goes up $200,000, like we're talking with a tariff or that type of thing, then that would give us a ability to an insurance policy basically to get out of the contract if it come to that. So like if it come in at $1.5 million and we just can't do it, then we can gives us that insurance policy to be able to get out of it. We're looking at about approximately, I think he said it was about 2.4 or $2.45 American basically per $1,000, which kind of works out in the ballpark of about $3,000 insurance policy basically, which would be well worth, and we would be able to get our funds back that we put into it. If we put our deposits and all that stuff, would allow us to get that back. One thing that I was talking with Ron he'd reached out to some of his other colleagues and with the performance bond, sometimes we get to get the actual supplier to actually hopefully pay for that go after Pierce to basically go at that. We're going to look into that basically, and hopefully that's something that we can have them throw in as a performance bond, throw that into the deal and then we'd have insurance for basically that will cover us over the next 2 years if something crazy happened, that like price increases or something like another pandemic type thing or whatever like thing. So it's basically gives us that. And Ron can maybe speak onto that maybe a little more.
I guess you've already got basically the go ahead when we did our budget to begin to move in this direction. So, okay, yes, Ron, over to you.
Just through the chair, there's a deadline. The price that Chief Little has quoted, the $1 million and basically $75,000 is only stands till May 15th. So we are intending to move forward and solidify that deal. And as the chief said, we will ask Pierce to do the performance bond. And as the chief said, it will protect us against any increases in either the American dollar, tariffs, or any escalating issues that are out of our control and out of Pierce's control as well.
Okay, thank you. Any questions from council? Yes, Deputy Mayor Marsh.
Mayor, what do we have in our reserves? The 300,000 wasn't it?
I think we, through the chair, Deputy Marsh, I think we're at about somewhere's about 200,000, and then we'd put away for whatever we put away this year towards for 2025 for reserves to go to that. Well, like I said, we need to for next year's and whatever to have the cover or the 250,000 basically that we'll need for the next deposit on the truck or whatever. So
and your deposit now is
107,000, just a little over 107,000. 10% down would be to confirm the deal.
Any other questions?
Your worship.
Yes, please.
I have a question on the report.
Oh, okay. Yes, do your question on the report.
So I've had a few people contact me, and anybody who's on social media has seen a lot of it. And I think if I could ask Chief Little to just kind of clarify our role in setting like burn restrictions and stuff, and how the MNR affects that. I know we've done it before.
Yeah.
But just a little piece that was only about 10 days ago we had another grass fire.
Yeah.
So if you just give a refresher to the public.
Yep. To the chair and to Councillor Palmetier. So basically in the last 2 weeks, we've had approximately between my two municipalities, I've had about half a dozen grass fires. The reason for the restriction on it here from 7 p.m. to 7 a.m. our neighboring departments basically are all on the same boat. What it does is that you have after 7 p.m. basically you get a higher the sun starts going down, you start getting a higher dew factor and stuff. So there's more moisture in the air, there's more moisture in the ground, and the wind tends to deplete after 7 p.m. kind of thing. It starts to slow down the thing, and basically once it's over that 7 to 10 kilometer an hour, it starts to become an issue for us to start to it dries things out quicker. And when that wind goes down, you get the dew will stay on the ground, and you'll see at night, you walk across your grass, whatever, you'll feel that dew on there. So it does decrease that. And we deal with the M&R. We get a report every day from the M&R on what our conditions are for the moisture factor in the ground. Plus there's what it is a load of fuel that's in the ground, like the leaves, the twigs, everything that's over the years is composted into the ground. And that gives us kind of what kind of moisture is in that. And they can test that through their scientific stuff or whatever. That's out of my thing, but anyways, but like they give us a report daily on that. Plus we have a meter that's up on Robinson Road, that gives us a report every day of how much rain that we've had in millimeters. It tells the wind speed at that time, gives us the moisture content in the air and stuff. And then that all gets sent back to the M&R, and they keep an eye, basically keeps an eye on our area. I know sometimes that we do in the north of number 7, we do get rain there. We're not getting rain here, or vice versa. We get rain here. And I mean, it's not that far apart, but we do get that. And some people are saying like, we got all kinds of rain around the lake. How come we can't burn before 7 or whatever? Right now at the point, we are allowing some people that, if it's a good, we get rain that day or whatever, they give us a call or whatever. And then I know for the farmers, you're trying to get some brush and stuff cleaned up. We're more than willing to work with them if it's a good condition today to do a prescribed burn or whatever. They just have to give us a call at the 395-0214 and get a hold of Sean or myself, and we will give them, permission depending on the day or whatever to do that. But generally after the 7 right now, we've got it as you can still burn your stuff, brush or whatever. And that after 7 PM. And hopefully this summer we keep the green grass now. It looks like it's greening up. It is greening up very good right now. I had one yesterday. It took off and we had here in the area, and the wind catches it and it dries the ground out, and that green grass is green, but it will burn the tips of it. And there's lots of dead grass underneath it, is what people don't see. So, and that'll burn that out. So that's why we keep a good eye on it every day, like daily with the M&R, and they kind of give us some feedback each day of what our conditions are in our area and our surrounding areas and stuff. And we do watch the weather, like every day it gets checked and stuff. So we do try to keep that, so we can give our residents the chance to burn if they need to get some brush and burn. But like I said, give us a call, look at our website on the Tweed Fire website. It gives an update on it. You can also sign into the website, and it'll give you an update if there's any changes in the burn conditions. It'll send you an email. And also don't be scared to give us a call if you're wanting to know what the conditions are, and we can to the office or they'll get a hold of us, one or the other. And if you need a prescribed burn for something like that, we don't mind. If it's good conditions, we like to get to help all of our residents out to get that stuff cleaned up too as well.
Thank you. Any further questions? Okay, be it resolved that council receive the fire department update as presented, and further that council acknowledge the order to purchase the new fire truck at a value of $1,075,000 with a 2025 expenditure of a 10% down payment. A performance bond will be obtained to ensure there are no price increases and that the truck is received to the order specifications. All in favor? Thank you. Could I have a mover and a seconder to table the animal control officer and livestock investigation report for April? Thank you, Councillor Palmetier. Thank you, Councillor Fleeler. Any questions on said report? Seeing none. Be it resolved that council receive the April 2025 annual control and livestock investigation report as presented. All in favor? Thank you. Moving on to bylaws. Could I have a mover and a seconder to table bylaw number 2025-40, a bylaw to adopt a budget of all sums required for the municipality of Tweed for the year 2025? Mover and a seconder. Thank you, Councillor Fleeler. Thank you, Councillor Palmetier. As I think interesting, as Councillor Valiquette had said earlier, when you're looking at the budget increases across like our neighboring municipalities, we have Bancroft at 7.76%, and they're working at a much higher level than we are already. They're already at 3,500. And then you have Senator Hastings at 9.17. You have Sterling and Rodden at 14.82. You have us at 15, and you have Marmor and Lake at 15.37. So what we're experiencing is something which is hitting all of us in small rural Ontario right now. This is the tip of the iceberg. Any questions on the presentation? We should have done this earlier. We let it slip, but that's okay because it's been caught and we're approving it today. Seeing no questions, be it resolved that bylaw number 2025-40 be read a first, second, third, and final time, passed, signed, and sealed in open council this 13th day of May 2025. All in favor? Thank you. Could I have a mover and a seconder to table bylaw number 2025-41, a bylaw to appoint a chief administrative officer CAO for the municipality of Tweed? I can't get any movers or seconders?
They're all shaking their head.
Thank you, Councillor Wheeler. Thank you, Councillor Valiquette. Any questions? Seeing none, be resolved that bylaw number 2025-41 be read a first, second, third, and final time, passed, signed, and sealed in open council this 13th day of May 2025. All in favor? And welcome aboard. Could I, okay, this is the one that you wanted to move from, Jamie?
Yes.
Okay, next two, okay. Could I have a mover and a seconder to table bylaw number 2025-42, a bylaw to amend comprehensive zoning bylaw 2012-30, Old Hungerford Road? Mover and a seconder. Thank you, Councillor. All right. Thank you, Councillor Palmetier. Thank you, Councillor Valiquette. Any questions on said bylaw? Seeing none, be it resolved that bylaw number 2025-42 be read a first, second, and third and final time, passed, signed, and sealed in open council this 13th day of May 2025. All in favor? Thank you. Could I have a mover and a seconder to table bylaw 2025-43, a bylaw to amend comprehensive zoning bylaw 2012-30, Old Hungerford Road? Thank you, Councillor Valiquette. Thank you, Councillor Palmetier. Any questions on said bylaw? Seeing none, be it resolved that bylaw number 2025-43 be read a first, second, third, and final time, passed, signed, and sealed in open council this 13th day of May 2025. Okay, all in favor? Thank you. Okay. Items for consideration. Could I have a mover and a seconder to table the request from Brian Volkman, Tweed, Ontario? At the April 8th, 2025 regular council meeting, Brian Volkman of Moores Road submitted a request to council to authorize compensation of expenses due to damages to his vehicle caused by potholes. Mr. Volkman was directed to submit his claim to expenses to his insurer, and if denied, to return to council for further deliberation. The claim was denied by his insurer, so he now requests a further review of the matter. Could I have a mover and a seconder to get that on the table, please? Thank you, Deputy Mayor Marsh. Thank you, Councillor Palmetier. Okay, discussion. Typically, we do not fund these things when they happen. I think it was more of a direction, see if your insurance company will help you. By coming back to us, I think our answer will be the same as it always is, really, is that we do not assume the liability. Okay. Yes, please go ahead, Councillor.
I've traveled a lot of roads this spring, and our roads aren't in any worse shape than any other municipality. I mean, it's a tough year, but if the roads are rough, you have to drive accordingly. I drive across a rough road most days. And no, I don't think we can move forward with this.
Thank you. Any further questions? Be it resolved that council not approve the request of Brian Volkman for compensation of expenses due to damages to his vehicle caused by bottles. All in favor? Thank you. Could I have a mover and a seconder to table the road allowance closing proposal for Retreat Road? Could I have a mover and a seconder to get that? Thank you, Deputy Mayor DeMarsh. Thank you, Councillor Palmetier. Any questions on this? Yes, Councillor Wheeler.
Your worship, I just want to make sure that if we do close this road, we're not going to interfere with any properties in the other side. I don't know exactly.
We visited it and it's not.
Okay.
Okay, and the other thing is, I think we had talked about waiving the fee on this.
I don't.
Only because that road should have been our road, and during the tornado, we did not go in and clean it up. And the person on that road incurred significant dollars in cleaning that road up to get back to their property. Yes,
And just to further, when you read the report, we never maintained it.
Yeah,
No.
so I would recommend that we proceed with no cost at this time. I think it was 1,000 and something. Yes,
For clarity through the mayor, are we talking the application fees or the actual cost of the land to sell to the
what was the,
individual?
go ahead, Councillor Fluke.
no, go ahead, go ahead.
We have collected the application fee
That's fine.
and a deposit for both administrative and legal costs, and we've also collected a deposit on the value of the land as well. So depending on what the intent of council is here, we can look at.
I'm just going through, do you
What's
have all of
appropriate?
those individual costs noted? No, right?
In the report?
Yeah.
$1,400.
Or that's what I was saying, but I didn't see, I think there's more than Lucas is talking about. I was thinking of raising the 1,400.
The 1,400, so
Yes.
essentially the value of the land, the transfer of the land. So we would do, if council's intent is to do a minimal transfer, then we'll transfer for whatever the minimum consideration would be legally allowed. If that,
That would be my recommendation at this time. Any questions, comments?
Just for clarity,
You know, they're up there.
just for clarity, he has paid a deposit on the value of the land as well. Is that to be returned to him, or are we return the value of the land deposit?
I think that we did a disservice on this, and I don't know if anybody visited it during the tornado. I did. And that road was totally, I mean, he lost every tree on that property,
Mhm.
first of all, but you could not get up to his property. He incurred significant costs clearing that road, which typically we did for other roads that we have in our municipality.
Right.
So that's my recommendation. Councillor Fleaver, I think you wanted to say something.
Yeah, I just want to be careful that we don't get into a mess. I know the costs were incurred by the landowner, but I just don't want us to get into a mess in the future, doing something that, like, I mean, if this is a one-off,
Well, I'm assuming it would be a one-off. I'm hoping it would be a one-off. I would think that any road that we are responsible for, we would maintain.
yeah,
And you have mentioned, Deputy Mayor Marsh, that we,
Yeah, just going by the report, it's just in here, but I can't find it out, but it said we never maintained it at all.
Yeah.
yeah.
Sorry,
Council Palmer Tier then.
excellent.
Your worship, just a clarification, are we still going to collect the application fee?
Yes.
Okay. I'm fine with, as long as we collect the application fee.
And
I would ask council to pass a resolution. We do have a policy and procedures to close and sell municipal road allowance bylaw 2023-44. I would just ask that the council resolution recognize an exemption of the value of the land for the transfer of the road allowance.
that's fine.
It's just clear
Are
direction.
you able to type this in? Okay. We'll just give Lori a minute. And while she's doing that, Council Fielder has yet a.
And should we also mention that the cost incurred by the landowner to clean it up? I think we should.
Okay, yes, only because you're right, significant costs
Yeah,
were incurred
okay,
by the
yeah.
landowner.
Yeah.
In cleaning up the debris on that road from the July 22 tornado. We'll just give something. Do.
Could you speed it up a little, Lori, please?
Okay, sorry, I was moving on to the next one. Okay, be it resolved that council authorize staff to commence the process to close and sell the portion of municipal road allowance located between concession for lots 48 to 52, part lots 53, 54, and 74 to 79, and RP 21R-15190, parts 3 to 6, and concession 4, parts lot 1, lot 25 to 32, Elsevier as presented in the application submitted by Phil Slaney in accordance with the provisions of the policies and procedures to close and sell a municipal road allowance adopted by bylaw number 2023-44. And further, that council offer an exemption to bylaw 23-44 to allow the transfer be completed at a minimal value and the land purchase deposit already received be returned to Mrs. Slaney due to the work required to clean up the lands after the tornado. Any questions on that? I think that's clear. Yes, Councillor,
I was thinking if it's received by Mr. Slaney due to the work required to clean up municipal road.
yes, let's do that. Okay, that makes it,
Very clear.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So are you okay with that, Lori? So we've added in, okay, after, clean up the municipal road after the tornado. Okay, all in favor? Thank you, everyone. Moving on, could I have a movement and a seconder to table the Tweed Hungerford Agriculture request to use the Tweed Memorial Park during Harvest Festival? Move and a seconder, please. Thank you, Councillor Valiquette. Thank you, Councillor Palmetier. Any questions on said request? Seeing none, be it resolved that council approve the request of the Tweed Hungerford Agriculture Society to use Tweed Memorial Park during the Tweed Harvest Festival on Saturday, September 27th, 2025 for an outdoor food truck rally with live entertainment on the outdoor stage. All in favor? Thank you. Could I have a movement and seconder to table the July regular council meeting date change? Okay, this is a request that I am making. It's bylaw number 2023-13, being a bylaw to govern the calling, place, and proceedings of meetings of the council municipality of Tweed. Sets out the regular meetings of council shall be held on the second Tuesday of each month. A request by the mayor has been received to change the date of the July council meeting from the second Tuesday to the third Tuesday of the month. Could I have a movement and a seconder to get that on the table, please? Thank you, Councillor Valiquette. Thank you, Deputy Mayor DeMarsh. And it fits nicely with the moving because we only have one meeting in July anyway and one in August, I believe. And it's because I'm going to be away and I need to talk to you about that. Okay, any questions on that? Seeing none, be it resolved that council hereby amends the date of the July regular council meeting to Tuesday, July 15th, 2025 at 9 a.m. All in favor? Thank you. Okay, we're going to be moving into closed meeting now. Could I have a move and a seconder to move into close, please? Thank you, Deputy Mayor DeMarsh. Thank you, Councillor Palmetier. Be it resolved that council go into closed meeting, Lori, at all in favor? No, Lucas. Okay, welcome back, everyone. This is a notification of closed meeting and staff direction. Could I have a mover and a seconder to table that, please? Thank you, Councillor Palmetier. Thank you, Councillor Valiquette. Be it resolved that staff follow council direction from the closed meeting. All in favor? Thank you. Could I have a mover and a seconder to table correspondence information, please? Thank you, Deputy Mayor Demarche. Thank you, Councillor Fleeler. Anything that anybody would like to bring forward? Seeing none, be it resolved that correspondence information be received and filed. All in favor? Thank you. Could I have a mover and a seconder to bring forward community board minutes, please? Thank you, Councillor Fleeler. Thank you, Councillor Valiquette. Any of these, there's minutes from Quinny Waste Solutions, from Central Hastings Support Network, and then Hamlet Committee back in 2024. Are there any comments in any of those minutes? Seeing none, be it resolved that council receive the committee board minutes as presented. All in favor? Thank you. Could I have a mover and a seconder for the conformatory bylaw, please? Thank you, Deputy Mayor Demarche. Thank you, Councillor Palmetier. Be it resolved that conformatory bylaw number 2025-44 will be read a first, second, third, and final time, passed, signed, and sealed in open council this 13th day of May, 2025. All in favor? Could I have a mover and a seconder to adjourn today's meeting? Thank you, Councillor Palmetier, and thank you, Councillor Valiquette. Be it resolved that council will adjourn at